Every year, a tiny 20-mile stretch of land in northern India draws millions of travelers. They pour into the twin cities of Mathura and Vrindavan, pressing through narrow, ancient alleys. To an outside observer, this looks like typical urban congestion. It is a dense grid of aging stone, loud markets, and historical ruins competing for space. But the people walking these streets see something entirely different. For them, the very dust under their feet, the brajraj, is sacred. They believe the gods are actively walking among them right now, turning the physical dirt into a living spiritual realm. To understand the pulse of India's devotion, you have to follow their footsteps. You have to walk the physical path where documented history, ancient mythology, and modern faith bleed seamlessly into one another. The pilgrimage begins in Mathura, starting deep underground in a subterranean prison cell. According to the ancient epics, this dark, cramped space is where Lord Krishna was born thousands of years ago to parents imprisoned by a tyrannical king. Today, that mythological origin point is firmly grounded in reality by the sprawling Shri Krishna Janmabhoomi complex built directly over the site. The local geography directly traces his earliest steps. After breaking out of that cell and eventually defeating King Kansa, Krishna is said to have walked down to the edge of the river to rest. That exact spot is Vishram Ghat. Here on these stone banks, pilgrims gather to bathe, establishing the Yamuna River as the purifying lifeblood for the rest of their journey. By starting their trek right here and touching the waters of the Yamuna, travelers physically sync their present-day movements with a timeline laid down millennia ago. Following the riverbank north, the route crosses over into the dense, chaotic streets of Old Vrindavan. Inside the city's narrow lanes, the devotion reaches a frantic energy, especially at the Banke Bihari Temple. The idol here was miraculously discovered by a 16th-century saint buried in the nearby forest, and the crowds pressing in to see it reflect that raw intensity. Beyond the packed courtyards, the city reveals its historical endurance. The Govind Dev Ji Temple stands out with its intricate red sandstone architecture. Built in 1590, it was originally a massive 7-story marvel. During festivals, workers would light a 50-kilo ghee lamp at the very top, creating a beacon so bright it could be seen from the city of Agra over 30 miles away. That visibility drew the attention of the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb. His forces ordered the temple dismantled, tearing down the upper floors. Before the armies arrived, devotees managed to smuggle the original deities hundreds of miles away to safety in the deserts of Rajasthan. These truncated stone temples stand as proof of a specific kind of survival. The people here prioritized saving their living deities over defending the physical buildings, allowing their faith to outlast imperial destruction. Leaving the heavy stone ruins behind, the pilgrimage enters a dense, enclosed wilderness right in the middle of the city, called Nidhivan. This small forest holds a belief that is both terrifying and beautiful. Followers maintain that Krishna and Radha return to these exact grounds every single night to perform a divine dance known as the Maharas. Because of this, a strict supernatural boundary is enforced. After the 7 p.m. evening prayers, the gates are locked. Absolutely no humans or even stray animals are permitted to remain inside the forest walls. The pilgrims believe that when darkness falls, the thousands of twisted basil trees with their interlocking branches physically transform into milkmaids or gopis to join the divine dance. The exclusivity of this midnight gathering is absolute. The local texts say even Lord Shiva, a chief deity of the Hindu pantheon, was turned away until he took the form of a female devotee just to be allowed to watch. Walking through Nidhivan during the day shifts the entire pilgrimage. It ceases to be a passive historical tour and becomes an active, dangerous proximity to a supernatural event happening right now. As you move outward from the narrow alleys and ancient forests, the devotion scales up into something massive and modern. Vast new influences have poured into the city. You find towering South Indian architecture at the Rangnath Temple, complete with priests and rituals brought entirely from the southern peninsula. The local population has also absorbed an influx of international travelers. The ISKCON movement has brought in thousands of Western devotees who now live, chant, and study right alongside the locals. Standing in sharp contrast to the weathered red sandstone ruins is the Prem Mandir, a sprawling 150-acre complex built entirely of Italian marble that glows under programmed light shows every evening. The sheer scale of these newer constructions shows Vrindavan actively expanding as a highly funded global faith. Eventually, the physical journey loops back to the banks of the Yamuna River, culminating at Kasi Ghat just as the evening Aarti rituals begin. The travelers have traced a path from a dark subterranean prison cell in Mathura, past 16th-century sandstone ruins, through an off-limits mystical forest, and to sprawling marble compounds. Yet the people standing on these riverfront steps are not here for the architectural scale, the golden pillars, or the city's historical endurance. They are here for a concept called Leela, or divine play. It is the conviction that through an unbroken, continuous chain of human belief, the mythological past is actively occurring, repeating every single day. For the millions who walk this path, the myth is alive. The gods are physically present. The spiritual pulse of the world is still beating, right here in the dust of Vrindavan.